Just say action, I guess.
Action.
Alright, Aiden. We're gonna go over our vowels first, okay? So let's go over our vowels. Do you remember your vowels? Right? It's gonna be what? A, E, I, O, and U. Good. Remember, when we do our vowels, we have the long version, right? Which is gonna be the way that we say them when we read them, right? And we got the short version, right? So I want to go over both of them before we go into our next activity. So the long version is going to be the same way we did them, right? A,
E, I, O, U.
Good. And then we have our short version, right? Which our short version is going to be A, E, O, and right? So let's do the short version by yourselves. Let's see. And right? That's what I'm gonna go over. What's the long version? Thanks. So one more time. A, E, I, O, U, and the short version is A, E, O, and U. Awesome. But what I want to do go over today is going to be our vowel teams, right? Because we want to know our vowel teams. Now, usually when we do vowel teams, it's going to be two of the vowels that we just had. We're going to focus on this one, A-I, and A-Y, right? And these make the long version of the sounds of A, right? And our long A is A. And when you see these two vowels together, it makes the same sound as this one. Okay? These are going to equal the same thing, long A. So when you see these in words, you're going to say A, yeah. A, Y. Do you know any words that probably start with A-Y or have A-Y? Away, right? So you see away, A-I, kind of, right? Rain, right? Good. So we have rain, away. And we still say the same sound even though we have two letters, right? Good. So now in order to practice a little bit more for our vowel teams, I want to start doing this worksheet. You might put in your name on it.
I don't know, it's frozen.
Okay. So, get you a pencil.
It's frozen now, it looks like.
There you go. So make sure you have to write your name. For these ones, I want you to be able to just underline our long A sound first, okay? So we got A-Y for what?
Male.
Male, good. So underline A-I. I want you to underline the vowel team for this one, right? And we sound it out. The first two is
A-Y.
Clay. Remember, we're doing the long A sound. Good. So every time you see the vowel team, make sure to associate those two A, right? Just A, May. Good. What about the next one? Just underline the vowel team for me. See it? Good. So we know that those two letters are making the long A sound, right? So it's paint, right? Paint. Good. What about for the next one? A-Y, right? Right in the middle. So jail. Good. Next one. Rain, right? Underline the vowel team. Good for rain, right? Just like you said earlier, play, right? We got the word play at the end of the word. So play, right? We don't gotta think about it no more because we're learning our vowel teams. So the next word is nail. Good. And then for the lastly but not least, we have
Chain.
aim, right? So underline. So one of the biggest things I want to make sure you know is that you gotta associate this vowel team, A-I and A-Y, with the long sound of A, right? So now, for our next activity, I just want you to now write them for me. I want you to continue practicing. Still use this page, but I want you to use the same one, right? We're gonna write A-I and A-Y to complete the word, because I want you to get into more advanced words later. So for rain, which vowel team are we going to use? A-I, okay? Because usually, so I want you to write it. Here you go.
My cardstock, my white cardstock. You can get free card stock.
Usually when we see AI, so we'll write vowel team again.
You can use these envelopes for the kids.
We have AI is usually going to be in the mid of a word. And when you use AY, it's usually going to be at the end of a word. So for example, we have rain. And what do you think the next one's going to be?
Hey.
Hey, right? And it's usually going to be the one on this
I
side.
have enough envelopes, but I don't have
Good.
enough cards. So if you make cards, they can pick a color.
What about the next one? What do you think the next one is? Ray. It's a tray.
Tray.
Looks kind of weird, huh? So I want you to A-Y. Good. Let's try the next one.
Nail.
Nail. Good. It's going to be in the middle. So we kind of use this version of our vowel team, right? This is at the end. Which one do we use?
Spray.
Which one? A-Y or A-I?
A-Y.
Good. Yes.
Can I do this too?
You can do it later. Right? You like it?
Yeah.
No, it's good practice, huh?
Yeah.
And then we have in the middle of a word, so we use
AI.
AI. Good. Next.
Away. A-Y.
Sell, right? Sell, yeah, AI. Nice. So I want you to finish these last two on your own, and then we'll move on.
You could try it on the computer. Let Jasmine go as well, because she says her.
So remember, when it's in the middle, we're going to use AI, right? Even though it's the same sound and it looks correct, let's use this one right in the middle, right? And it's at the end, like pay, make sure we use AY, but the same sounds, right? This is an X-ray. So if it's at the end, you use AY, good job. And then we have our tail, perfect. And lastly, paint. Good. So I want you to keep practicing this sound because eventually you're gonna be able to learn words that are gonna be longer. Okay. So for example, I want you to learn the word available. Right? Even though it's a long word, you already know all these different sounds, right? You got different vowels here. Okay, I don't want you to get tricked. Or the word contain, right? So with this one, can you tell me where all the vowels are? I actually want you to put a dot in the bottom of all the vowels. Okay? Good. Good. What else? What about this one? Just put a dot there. What about our O? Don't forget about our O. Right? The E. E is also a vowel and also A. So I want you to notice how when we do multisyllabic words, which is multiple syllables, now sometimes we crop them out, or sometimes we go like this, or I was telling you to use this available, and every time you open your mouth will be a way to separate it. But I want you to know also that you could use the vowels to learn when to separate a syllable. So for example, we have AY right there, right? Is it in the beginning or at the end of the word? It's almost at the beginning, right? And usually when we do that, it's gonna be a long sound or a short sound. It's gonna be the long sound, right? So we know that they, la, bo, right? Same thing with this one. We have our two sounds right there, or a vowel team. We know that this is at the end or at the beginning. It's still at the end, right? But when we do this sound, is it going to be long or short?
Long.
It's still long, right? So we know contain, right? So we have our sound, but you always remember that no matter where it's at, it's still going to be a long A sound. So when we read these words, we say available, right? Contain. All right, next time we'll go over some other words, okay? This is great practice. Thank you.